Hey, my name's Ian, and I'm excited to share my story with you today. For I guess the first 28 years of my life, I really wasn't religious, more so a atheist, really. There wasn't a lot of religion in my childhood at all, and I went to a college that was very, actually surprisingly Christian. It was a Jesuit college, but they taught science very well, and I'm very focused on science and I guess objective facts, and it felt like there wasn't any evidence for God in my previous life, and I didn't feel like a need for God, I guess. I felt like I was fulfilling what I needed through myself, which was pretty foolish looking back on it, but I mean, that's where I was before I really started talking to AJ. I didn't have a need for God back then. I did have a need for God, I just didn't realize it at that time. So I feel like life was a lot harder. I don't know if I was searching for something, but life has become a lot easier, much more peaceful since finding God. Because I feel like struggling with things without God was difficult, and relying on yourself is never going to work out in the long run. Since finding God, it's like having, I don't know, a rock to come back to. And it just brings me a lot of peace. I don't know if I was searching for anything, but I guess I must have to an extent, or else I wouldn't have been hanging out with AJ and listening to what he had to say. And I'm very thankful that he was there and willing to put in the time for me, really. Because I'm sure not everyone would be willing to do that. I just really like reading books, and AJ likes reading the Bible. And so he's like, hey, do you want to read a book? Because he kind of knew my viewpoint that I was not really big into religion. It was called A Reason for God, I believe. And we met and discussed it once, and I think I had to have a little openness to it, or else I wouldn't have met him to begin with, right? But going into that was pretty, again, anti-religion, looking for viewpoints to knock it down. Admittedly, I don't think the book was the best, but then AJ's like, what if we just read Jesus' word and see what he actually said? And so then we started reading the Bible, and that slowly changed my heart, I guess, opened my heart to God, and realizing that, he's there and that he cares for me and loves me. AJ hit on this point, it takes a very tiny mustard seed of faith, but you have to have a little mustard seed, and he's like, just go home and try and pray. That was extremely difficult at first. It was hard for me to say hey God. I felt very ridiculous saying that, even speaking those words at first. And then after we'd talk, I'd pray for a couple of days, and then I kind of move away from it, and then we talk again, and it'd be more motivated. And seeing him continue to put in the work made me feel like there's a reason that he's doing it. One, I mean, he cares about me, and two, I feel like God was working through him to bring me closer to him. I don't know, it's been enlightening to, I guess, continue to read the Bible and, talk to him about these big questions and such. And I feel like I found other people I can talk about faith with too, and I don't know, it's brought a lot more meaning to my life. Always acknowledged I'm not perfect, I think. I mean, I'm very acutely aware I'm not perfect now, but I've never had a problem acknowledging that I have problems. It's just nice to know that I have God in my corner that supports me through those problems and loves me, versus just relying on myself. So when I run into problems, it's nice to be able to go to God and ask him for advice. And I mean, I don't struggle with much. I feel like I've been very blessed. There's a lot of people that have a lot more struggles than I do. But even when I do face some adversity, it's nice to have God in my corner. I would say that the world is much more beautiful. I love the outdoors. The outdoors are beautiful, but appreciating it as God's creation has made it that much more beautiful. I also took for granted a lot of things, and I still take a lot of things for granted, but I'm working to be more thankful each day for all that God has given me. So hopefully it's made me more humble, I don't know, and less judgmental. I feel like it's the next one logical step for me, to acknowledge that, I've accepted Jesus and God in my life. It feels almost hollow to continue to profess being Christian and not follow through on, the acts that symbolize that. I realize that it doesn't mean that I'm any more special just because I've been baptized, but I don't know, it just feels like the next right step. It seems like what God wants me to do, and I'd love to do it before AJ leaves so he can do it. I mean, I think I would share with them how much more fulfilling life has been for me since I found God, how much more peaceful I've been, I think you can't read like the Sermon on the Mount enough times. So if they wanted to read a little, that's probably a good thing. But in general, I think life has just been, I don't know, better. It's so much better with God in my life. So I would encourage them to at least try it out, be open to new ideas. I appreciate AJ for hanging with me and putting in the time, because I wouldn't be here without him. So, yeah, changed my life.